Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open to you. These profound words from Matthew 7:7 invite us to question everything we think we know about Jesus. This seeking isn't just an intellectual exercise, it's a spiritual journey that requires courage and openness. The Jesus we've been taught about in mainstream religion might be a carefully crafted image designed to keep you dependent on external authority rather than awakening you to your own divine nature. Today, we're going to explore a truth so revolutionary that it has the power to completely transform your understanding of spirituality and your own divine essence. Hey, welcome back, all you wandering souls, to the Wandering Soul podcast. And this is our episode 5, actually. And we're going to be talking about an interesting topic today. Something that's probably controversial, but needs to be said. We're going to talk about the fact that Jesus didn't come to earth to start a religion. He actually came to eliminate them. See, there was a lot of religions around at the time, and most of them based on the Anunnaki or say aliens that were here or they had visited. You have the Greek gods, the Roman gods, the Norse gods, the Mesopotamian gods. You had the Inca gods. There are gods everywhere. But we'll talk about why he came and have a lot of passages from the Bible to explain to you what was going on. See, the real Jesus was far from the meek and passive figure often portrayed in religious art and sermons. He was a radical Middle Eastern mystic who deliberately challenged the religious and social structures of his time. In Luke 5:12-16, we see him touching and healing a leper, an act that defied both social norms and religious laws. In John 8:1-11, he stood between an accused woman and her condemners, demonstrating that divine love transcends human judgment. Each of these actions was a deliberate statement about the nature of spirituality. He chose to walk alongside society's outcasts, not because they needed saving, but because he recognized the inherent divine nature. In Matthew 21:12, he overturned the tables in the temple. This wasn't a mild-mannered teacher, but a passionate revolutionary challenging the commercialization of spirituality. Matthew 9:10-13, he explicitly states, "I desire mercy, not sacrifice," challenging the very foundation of religious practice. His actions consistently demonstrated that true spirituality isn't about maintaining social order or religious hierarchy. It's about recognizing the divine in everyone, especially those who society rejects. This recognition of universal divinity was revolutionary, and it remains revolutionary today. Christ left us 3 transformative teachings that were intentionally obscured over time. These spiritual activation codes, if you may, were designed to awaken humanity to its true nature, creating a complete pathway to spiritual awakening. The first one, in Luke 17:21, he declared, "The kingdom of heaven is within you." This wasn't about a distant paradise, but about the divine presence within each human being. In a world of temples and priests, Jesus was pointing to the heart as the true sanctuary. This aligns with Psalm 82:6, which states, "You are God's, children of the Most High," a direct statement about the human potential. This truth is further affirmed in Colossians 1:27, speaking of Christ in you, the hope of glory. Secondly, In Matthew 5, verse 14, he proclaimed, "You are the light of the world." This wasn't metaphorical. It was a direct statement about your divine essence. Christ was saying that you don't have just access to divine light. You are the divine light. This teaching is reinforced in John 1, verse 9, speaking of the true light that gives light to everyone. Now, the third teaching is in John 8, verse 58. He stated, "Before Abraham was, I am," pointing to the eternal, timeless nature of consciousness itself. This profound teaching connects with Exodus 3, verse 14, where God identifies as, "I am that I am." Jesus was pointing to this same eternal presence within each person, revealing that your true nature transcends time and space. These teachings weren't about establishing a religion. They were about awakening people to their own divine nature. In John 14, verse 12, he promised, "Very truly I tell you, whoever believes in me will do these works that I have been doing, and they will do even greater things than these." He consistently pointed people back to their own inner authority rather than demanding blind following. The transformation of Christ's radical spiritual movement into an institutionalized religion marks one of history's most profound spiritual hijackings. When Christianity became the Roman Empire's official religion in 312 AD, Christ's message of inner divinity and universal love was reshaped to maintain social control. The empire transformed a teaching about inner divinity into a system of external authority. It had been hijacked for over 2,000 years. What was once the path of personal spiritual awakening became a system of external worship and control. The shift was gradual but profound, moving away from the direct spiritual experiences that marked early Christian gatherings to increasingly structured and controlled forms of worship. Basically a dictatorship by dogma and decree. This transformation happened through several key changes, each moving further and further from Christ's original teachings. And here's how. Personal spiritual exploration was replaced with standardized creeds, turning a fluid spiritual understanding into a rigid doctrine. Direct divine connection was mediated through church hierarchy, creating a spiritual bureaucracy in a sense that Christ never intended. Now here's the kicker. Individual spiritual authority was surrendered to an institutional authority, contradicting Christ's teachings that the kingdom of God is within. Mystical teachings emphasizing direct divine experience were labeled as heretical. The focus shifted from inner transformation to outward compliance, emphasizing ritual over spiritual awakening. The church became exactly what Jesus had warned us against. An institution more concerned with outward appearances than inner truth. How might your spiritual journey be different if you had direct access to Jesus' original teachings? Now, here's why a great many books were not included in the Bible. Deeper truth was preserved in text the institutional church deemed dangerous. The Gospel of Thomas emphasized self-knowledge and inner divinity, teaching, "If you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you." The Gospel of Mary Magdalene and Gospel of Philip both reveal teachings about direct divine wisdom and mystical union. These texts were suppressed because they showed that each person had direct access to divine wisdom, no intermediary necessary. Christ's message was revolutionary. You're not separate from the divine force of the universe. Okay, listen to this. John 17, verse 21 through 23, he prayed that all of them may be one. Father, just as you are in me and I am in you. This unity consciousness was reflected in how he treated everyone he encountered, recognizing the divine in all beings. He taught that you don't need an intermediary to connect with your spiritual essence. As in Acts 17, verse 28, he declares, "In him we live and move and have our being." This direct connection to the divine was the heart of his teaching and was symbolized by the temple veil that was torn at Jesus' death, marking the end of the separation between humanity and the divine. From inner transformation to the outward compliance, emphasizing ritual over spiritual awakening. Today, we're witnessing a great spiritual awakening that transcends traditional religious boundaries. As Romans 12, verse 2 urges, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." This transformation is visible in the rising interest in meditation, mindfulness, and contemplative practice across all walks of life. The time has come to reclaim your spiritual power. As 2 Timothy 1, verse 7 reminds us, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and self-discipline." Your divine nature is your birthright. It's woven into the very fabric of your being. Begin your journey with daily moments of silent contemplation. Practice seeing the sacred in every moment. Nature and the acts of kindness and moments of connection. Create spaces and communities that support your direct spiritual experience rather than dogmatic belief. Divine nature isn't something to seek, it's actually something to remember. As Jesus himself declared in John 10:34, "Is it not written in your law, I have said you are gods?" The time for spiritual awakening is now. You are essential to it. Thanks for joining us in this episode, and please like and subscribe and help us to spread this ministry all over the world. We thank you, and we hope to see you next time.